Good morning, and thank you for waking up to the pregame. I'm your boy Shawn Xavier, alongside the storytelling Earl. This is the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Today is November 5th, 2023, and we're brought to you by Zeno. This is where you come and have fun on a football Sunday. I know your clocks went back a little bit, but hey, we're going to keep this thing going, man. Giving you guys all of our unprofessional inside analysis on college and pro football, our picks, whatever's on our mind, opinions and such. We're going to have some fun, man. Welcome back for another show. How we good? How we doing, gentlemen? How we doing?
All right. Sorry to start this off this way. I was doing good until I walked my dog this morning. And then if you ever notice, for all the pet owners out there, when you got to get to the point of cleaning your own pet's anus, it's a very strategic thing that you have to do. Somebody has to do it. So, it's been a shitty morning. How about y'all?
Well, I'll say this. My morning has been great. It's been fantastic. Yes, I'm wearing the Army cap. We'll get into that in a few moments. But there's another reason I'm wearing this cap. And I'm not capping when I say this. See what I did? I was on my way out last night, meaning I was down for the count. Tired, exhausted, but I'm watching the USC-Washington game. I'm on the couch. I'm there, and I'm like, I'm about to go get into bed. And so I go get in bed. I'm going to turn it on. Dozing off to sleep. And I get woke up like as I'm right about to go into that point of deep sleep. And I see like a shadow walking into my room. It was my baby girl. She surprised me. She flew in last night. She finished school down in Texas. And she on leave. And she woke me up. I was still sleepy as hell. When I got up, my eyes got wide. And my baby walked in. Yeah.
Did you do the classic parents, kids coming home from military crying joint?
Nah, bro. I was so tired. My mind was reacting one way, but my body was like, bro, I understand. But right now, you really can't move because you. But I got up. We stayed up more, and it was just Then we woke her sister up because she was knocked out, and she woke up. Her eyes got all wide. Yeah, it's a good time. So I woke up this morning. I'm looking at the camera in my daughter's room because my daughter there, and they both in there knocked out. So yeah, it's gonna be a good morning. So go Army all the way. We're gonna talk about that even more. Yeah,
Christmas early.
Absolutely. Earl, how about you, man? What's up,
man? I just been just doing homework, bro. That's it. Just doing homework.
His was the letdown. I was just doing homework, bro. He cleaned his dog's behind. My daughter came home. We got grown man tears and whatnot. I guess, man. Of course, man, make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube at the Hot Seat Podcast. And as always, follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. And again, this show is brought to you by Zeno. Make sure you guys go out now and pre-order the new Giraffe hoodie. It's up there. The pre-order is available now. Just go to ZenoClothing.com. That's ZenoClothing.com. The pre-order the new Giraffe clothing. The pre-order stays open till November 14th. And then you can expect to get your delivery a couple of weeks after that. So again, that's ZenoClothing.com. So, gentlemen, let's get into some college football recap. Y'all ready? Let's go. So we had a lot going on yesterday. The first thing is the new college football rankings did come out earlier in the week, with Ohio State coming in at 1, Georgia at 2, Michigan at 3, Florida State at 4, Washington 5, Oregon sitting at 6 at 7-1, and it's a run of 7-1 teams. Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma, which lost yesterday, so they'll drop out of that, and Ole Miss. So we'll see who go replace them. So where do we want to start, guys? Do we want to start with the rankings first? Or
you want to start with the fact of a team's jumping over two other teams that are undefeated?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, that was really where I was at with it. I don't understand it. They say it's not because of the controversy and investigation that's going on with Michigan, but somehow Ohio State jumped Michigan and Georgia to be number one without winning more games or playing them. So I'm just
you know how that goes.
Yeah,
it's I guess it doesn't matter where you get ranked at, really, I guess. But I get what you're saying, because I feel like I watched some games that Ohio State has played this year, and they haven't looked too good at times. So I don't see how. I know the old BCS days aren't here, but if the computer
but it's a way
is looking
to
at
save them.
Because
you got to think about it. Let's say Ohio State would have stayed at 3. We were at 2. Georgia was at 1. Like it's been all this time.
Right.
We play head to head against Ohio State at the end of the season. We beat Ohio State. I think they're really pushing, just like they used to do for Alabama, for Ohio State, no matter what happens in that game, for them to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's why they moved to number 1, because even if they lose to us, they drop back to 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll still be in the playoffs. But that's just me,
I'll say my pushback on this one this year is because unless Texas wets the bed, I feel like we may see a Texas team back in the hunt for the national championship for the first time in a long while. So let's say they win out, they do their thing, and say Ohio State does lose to Michigan. I don't think it's going to really matter, because I think that Texas strength of schedule and just how they look this season is going to be so much more. So, But to Gary's point, that jump of Georgia was suspect.
Yeah, I mean, even if they would have jumped both of us, it ain't nothing. Like I was, it threw me off. Yeah. But like I said, I think it's the setup for making sure that they're still in there. So we'll see.
What else you guys take away from this? Did you guys watch the game last night?
Yeah,
the Washington. What you guys think? Battle of the Heisman.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Caleb is nice. I just don't see him. I don't see the hype like everybody else do. But him, he's nice. I think what's his name? Penix or whatever. I think he
Penix.
Penix. I think he
careful how you say that.
Well, I ain't gonna say like my man did. Desmond Howard. I'm not gonna be.
Hey now.
I think he's a problem.
I've been touting. I don't get a vote in the Heisman, votes and nothing like that. But I've been pushing for Michael Penix Jr. man all season. Check the tape, you can. I've been on that for a while. That Washington team is dope. And when you look at the screen when you're watching the game, and they always talk about, I know the prototypical quarterback now, they want the athletic guys, and there's been a run on these guys who are barely 6 feet the last few years. You go look at all the quarterbacks who come out. But nothing beats a quarterback who is 6'2", 6'3", if not taller, who can stand upright in the pocket and, for one, see over the offensive line. I know we want athletic guys. You can roll out and stuff like that. But Michael Penix Jr., he got some wheels on him, so he's mobile. But he's a taller quarterback, so he can sit in the pocket and throw over his O-line. Like Caleb and them, he's playing in college now, but when he gets to the league, some of those offensive, like look at the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, for instance. Them cats are big up front. So, like, if you're a guy who's barely touching 6 feet, you can't see over the line. And there hasn't been a person the height of who's the quarterback in New Orleans for all those years. I forget his name all of a sudden.
Breeze.
Yeah, Breeze. Breeze was what, 6 feet? But he just had the ability.
He ain't 6 feet.
Yeah, at that. But he was so accurate. He wasn't doing a bunch of rollout, but they had a system. They knew what they were doing. All these new shorter quarterbacks coming in right now. Name one who in the league has been able to legitimately stay in the pocket consistently and be accurate. All of it, they've been, you've seen, some hiccups in their play. So I like Michael Penix. I think he's like, I want to say like 6'3", I think. But he even looks taller than that on the field, which is good. I don't know if the guys are shorter than him or what. And I don't think those Washington O-linemen, Washington, as in Commanders, look at that. But yeah, I like it.
I will say, I'll take a different take since y'all went at the quarterbacks and stuff. What's going on with defense? I mean, I know these quarterbacks are nice. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But this is just across the board. Not just these teams. There's not too many that have both sides. And I'm wondering, you used to always be able to talk about these coaches and say they're NFL ready. I'm talking about coach-wise, not player-wise. No, man. It's not that impressive on that defensive side across the board.
Yeah, I've seen this, and that's been the knock on USC all season. Caleb has been putting up some dope numbers, but their games, their games that they lost, their defenses let them down. Hell, they almost lost to Colorado at the time. That game was closer than it probably should have been, but because of their defense. If Caleb does stay this season, I don't know. I doubt he does. But what happens when he does leave? Is that defense going to improve? Because or who they have? Well, I don't even know who their next quarterback is. So I'm curious to see what they look like once he departs. I did see the shot. They saw him go up into the stands, and he was being consoled by his parents and whatnot. And I know lots gonna be made of that. I'm like, look, man. At the end of these guys are kids, bro. At the end of the day, they kids. They are. I mean, they're young men, but some of them not too far removed from high school. There's still a lot of emotion there. Let them enjoy that moment, because once they also
realize everything's on the line with him. That's what I said. I'm not here to knock him in that sense, because he played a hell of a game. It was just there was no defensive stops going on. So when you sit back and you look at it, he's probably thinking in his mind like, damn, this is my year. And overall, it may be slipping away of something I can't even control.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if he comes up with so many losses, those outsiders are going to be like, yeah, he's not a winner. And the fact that he's not a winner is he ain't got no defense.
If I was him, considering how some of these teams are lining up for the first overall or for the top picks in the NFL, I don't mind losing some games. Maybe take some of that shine off me. Maybe a Chicago, somebody be like, nah, we're going to take somebody else. And Caleb be like, thank the Lord, because I ain't got to go one of these teams that, yeah.
Chicago will draft 2 quarterbacks and have it along with Justin Fields, and they'll all be battling that shit.
Yeah. Hey, we gonna put Justin Fields at wide receiver, which is crazy. And then we're going to have somebody else playing that. It's all over the place, man. It was a good game, though. I say, and then what came on after that, I'm like, all right, man, this is going to be the late game. Then I see that Oregon State is playing freaking Colorado. That game may start to 11. Bruh, 11? Look, man, on the East Coast? Nah, bro. Nah. Since we're talking about that, man, let's discuss that. We haven't discussed a lot of Colorado in the last couple of weeks. They lost. They lost their fourth game in a row, something like that. They're now 4-5.
Yeah, the 5th game of the season. Yep.
5th game of the season. And now I saw Dion was talk about the fact of, it's just trusted process of them building. But what also made a little bit of waves after their last loss last week was his comments around the O-line, which we all agreed that their O-line is they're very small. They're tweeners at that. But the message that was given, and I love the message that Dion has been preaching for the accountability and stuff since he's been at Jackson State. But you saw, perhaps I'll say his one and only fumble, I think so far maybe, was the way he conveyed his criticism of his O-line last week after that loss, and how that will carry going forward. I just want to get you guys' take on that.
No, it wasn't. They trash. Like, I mean, it's no way. There's no way to put it. Like, they're trash. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you're trying to I'll say this: the defense has been playing pretty decent, and they've been carrying them as long as they could. Yo, Shador, my biggest knock on him is he holds the ball too long, but that offensive freaking line is trash. And he said what they needed to say. Like, yo, y'all are trash and y'all need to play better. I don't know what the situation is, what the issue is, but y'all need to play better. Like this, the O-line, I ain't gonna hold you, even in their first 3 wins, like the O-line has been trash the whole time. But at least they was just, they found a way to get through. But I mean, he said what he said. Like I don't disagree with what he said. Like he said the right thing.
Okay. I mean, what's yours on that, Dave?
Not so much on the take of what he's saying because he's the coach. He's the one that sees it time and time again. Now realize some of that's going to come back on your coaching staff. Because maybe they don't live up to it physically as far as being able to block well, but maybe some of it is scheming, and it goes back to the staff you put there. So, you got to kind of balance that out and not just put it on them. Yes, they're the ones on the field, but maybe certain things are not being coached up right. The other thing I'm going to say is what I told you last week. I probably come out at the end of the season. It's probably going to come out that Sanders is hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks he's been getting killed.
Absolutely.
And I think there's an injury there. I don't know specifically what. I know a lot of people play through the injury and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. And he's still out there rocking, but yeah, it's wearing on him. You could see mentally and physically he's kind of checked out. You can even see him on the sideline. It's different. I don't need him running up and down like I told you before, on the sense of celebrating and throwing up and watching you losing the game. But you could just tell the mannerism is even different. He shouldn't, and I wouldn't either trust that offensive line, but it seems like he's not trusting a lot of things going on around him right now. So.
He kind of looked like Eli in his last couple of seasons, bro. But
Eli would have went down though.
Yeah, that's the only difference. And it sucks because, again, this is why I ain't mad at I'm not mad at Dion for saying what he said. And then too, to your point, Dave, they did make a coaching change. They did take Shawn Lewis out of there and they put Pat Sherman, in there. And the play calling was better because there was some times where it was just it was a good play. It was just they ain't execute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the one thing that they got to learn is what you were saying. We said that earlier with Shador, on the sense of being the fact that he knows he doesn't have so much time. You got to make a quicker decision on the fact of either leaving that pocket and going or letting that ball off.
But if you
either throwing it out or something.
But if you saw in the beginning, I stopped watching it after the first half. But I know in the first play, the first quarter or so, you could see that they were getting the ball out quick. He was throwing little dumps in the flat. They was just getting it out quick. And then just kind of letting them figure out, hopefully their skill will be able to get them a couple yards. But and that's sad that's what you had to do. I didn't really I felt like with the running, I think I don't know. They need to figure out who they want to use as a running back. It's too many running back committees. And how they're using Dylan Edwards is I hate how they're using him. He's not an in between the gaps runner. But yeah, I say it like this. With Colorado, they've exceeded the expectations from last year. You know what I'm saying? Now granted, I know he ain't happy because this ain't what he would want, especially starting 3-0. But it is what it is, and hopefully, I know he's going to have more players coming in that's going to fix this situation. The biggest thing is that O-line.
Yep. I'll say I get the message he was trying to portray or relate to them, but my only pushback on that is it's not as when you're operating like they are, especially going through the transfer portal. The one thing that you can't take for granted is cohesion and time to gel together.
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of hard to do that with an O-line if you're just going to plug them in because it doesn't work. The one thing that I would like to see them do, and I know it's college, but some of the best schools over time, they have a system. Think about Nebraska. Hell, think about Michigan. Think about Indiana. They have ways they build their squads. For Colorado, they're going to have to build that pipeline of offensive linemen and defensive linemen, or at least on one side, to where they give those guys time, enough time allotted to actually come together and know each other. Yeah, they're going to have to get bigger as well, because when you go up against the Oregons, which we saw that between against the Oregon defensive line and their O-line, you thought the role should have been reversed. Usually it's the other way around. You got, really big offensive linemen and smaller defensive linemen, but that wasn't the case. So if the one thing that I would say that may have to change is, yes, still utilize the transfer portal, still do your thing, because you're gonna pull those players in, but they're going to have to tap into in Colorado. So they're gonna have to tap in their neighboring schools, whether it be Wisconsin or it's going to be Nebraska or one of those places to pull in those old linemen. Otherwise, it's going to be more of the same, especially because of the offense that they run. That they pass a lot. They're going to need some big boys up front to hold down the line.
And they got like they tackles are huge. They're like 6'9", but they're slim. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
right. They will end up being tight ends. They're going to end up being tight ends. Yeah.
And I told you, what my rule is with offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? I told you, first of all, I don't want no Negroes on my line. Okay? None. You know
we got a sponsor. Don't
I don't care. I'm okay. I'm sorry. I don't want any black folks on my line. Okay. I want white folks on my line. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go
unless they Trent Williams, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I'll say this now.
Trent from Texas too. So
in all serious, all serious. When you look at the line, like that, I would say like typically like the O line is usually as white. Like I said, I need country. I'll just keep it there. Country white folks on the offensive line that all they give a damn about is blocking and protecting the quarterback. Now you're starting to see like with the ends, they're starting to put more African Americans on the ends only because the your defensive ends and these linebackers are more skilled and you need to be athletic. You need to have athletic tackles. You know what I'm saying?
We just playing into the stereotypes, bro.
No, I'm being serious, but
on that line.
You need to have athletic ends. I mean, tackles or whatever. So it's I ain't listen. I pushed back because I wanted to say what I really wanted to say. Y'all know what I was going to say.
Here we go.
I'm done.
So I started off the show talking about my daughter coming in. Yeah, she's a proud Army soldier. But something else happened. It's the only time I get up for this. Army upset the once undefeated Air Force 23-3. And look, the game, that is one of those games. It goes back decades, centuries, however you want to put it. Yo, Army, they've only won 3 games this season. They are 3-6. It's kind of like when I watch Washington, my Washington team, and we go up against Dallas. But this even means a lot more to me than that. Having served. Look, when I say the defense was, I don't know what defense was rolling out there, but Air Force was not prepared for it. And it just, I'm sorry for any Air Force people might be watching. And it just really just dove into the stereotype that the Air Force is soft because them Army cats beat the brakes off of them, man. Like they had six turnovers for that game. They allowed a total of, I want to say for Air Force, like 104 yards passing. Their quarterback was 9 of 22, 2 interceptions. Yeah, it was a bloodbath, man. Them cats, and I love seeing the students that were the cadet sections.
Quarterback threw for 93 yards, bro.
Yes, he did, bro. He did. That's it. They had two quarterbacks. They had 2 quarterbacks. One was 93 and the other one's for 11. Here's the other part. The winning team, their quarterback threw for 40 yards, but they rushed for 213 because that's what they do in Army. Like
crazy.
Their top receiver, Tyrell Robinson for Army, he had 23 yards, and that was on 1 catch. That's it. Air Force had 4 lost fumbles. It was, man, I love watching it every year. That game. One year, that's one of the things on my bucket list to go to that game because the atmosphere is so electric. And again, Army has only won 3 games, stadium packed. Because of course you got veterans there, active duty, a lot of parents who got their kids who go to the school, man. I love it. Go Army. Right there. Right there, man. Yes. Of course, man, this is Football Talk brought to you by Zeno. Streaming live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Today is November 5th, 2023. Let's jump right into our NFL side. Y'all ready, man? Let's get it. So we had a Thursday night game. Titans, Steelers coming out on top, 2016. We had the second showing of Will Levis in that game. It was a snoozer, bro. Like I think my son said, he said, Dad, the Steelers have one of the most boring teams to watch on offense. Like it was just one of those games where there was no real big. The biggest thing that came out of that was I think Kenny Pickett.
No, Johnson. He had 100 yards.
No, I mean after the fact. Is I'm saying the right person? The receiver. What's his name?
Pickens.
Pickens. I said
negative
Pickens.
2.
Yeah, and he came out and he put on his IG
Earl,
on Twitter. He was like, "Get me
Damn
out
right
of here."
I know. I got time today.
Yeah, he was like, "Free me," and he deleted the post after that. So he's not too happy there right now, man.
Give me a second, yo.
Yeah, what you got, man?
I don't give a fuck about the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? And I damn sure don't give a fuck about the Titans. But I watched that game, and I really didn't want to watch that game because, again, it's who the fuck want to see the Titans versus the Steelers unless you're a fucking Titans or Steelers fan. No disrespect. And I have
we ain't
respect.
making it today.
I have respect.
We not.
For the,
I'm about to put some beeps in here.
I have respect for the Steelers just as an organization, you know, and historically, right? Kenny Pickett ain't it. They need to go back to the drawing board with him. I don't understand how 2 weeks now you have arguably one of the best young receivers in the game in Pickens.
There you go.
And it was his name, George Pickens.
Yeah, George. There you go.
And last week he had 22 yards. This week he had 2 freaking receiver yards in the first half. Ended the game with -2. How? Dante Johnson went off. You could tell that Kenny Pickens, Kenny Pickett or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'd be messing names up too, man, because their names too close together.
You can tell, it is too close. You can tell that that's one of his favorite targets. But my whole thing is like, yo, you actually got some pretty decent receivers. Yo, the Steelers always had pretty decent receivers. Like you gotta use the field. There's no reason why George Pickens should have had only had -2 yards. Now let's go back to the reason why I'm upset. I had about 3 to 4 tickets, y'all. 3 out of the 4 tickets, all of them missed because of George Pickens. I had put 25 yards for him. The motherfucker had -2. I'd have been up about $500, y'all. So yeah, I'm tight.
I'm going to keep him upset. He also was pledging for Hyatt, which I was trying to talk him out of, but let's keep it going.
He was who? At
a Hyatt for the Giants. I was trying to let you know that that wasn't working either.
Here's my thing, man, and I absolutely love him as a coach, bro.
Oh, on my apps.
Wow.
Hey man, don't do something. Don't do a hometown like that.
He look just like me.
He look like he from He look like he from Newport News for real though, because he is. But what is this is year, I don't even know how many years we're counting that the offense in Pittsburgh has not been good. Pittsburgh is the 4th lowest when it comes to scoring per game. They're 16.6 points a game. I hate to say it, but above them is the Raiders at 15.8, the Patriots at 14.8, and unfortunately the Giants at 11.9. The Steelers have the 4th lowest points per game average in the league, and yards per game, they're ranked 28th. They have Matt Canada is an offensive coordinator, but since, I don't know, man, like I don't remember the last time there's been a good, it feels like since Antonio Brown left, which is odd.
But think about that.
Nothing since,
everybody cleared house one after another.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown gone.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger gone.
Claypool gone.
Who was no before all that, I'm saying. Running back wise, who was that that left? That stepped away from the game for that year.
Oh, that was yeah, you saying something on mute. I'm sorry.
You might be muted, man. You might be muted.
Yep, you mute.
If you're talking to us. All right.
The one that left because he wanted more money.
Yeah, it came back for less
money.
yeah, but gone. You get what I'm saying? So that was your offense all in one. All them gone, and then you choose to pick it up and put it all behind Pickett.
Then you got to look at the O-line. You know,
the
Le'Veon
Bell. There you go.
Yeah, the Pouncey twins, they retired. It's rough, man.
Najee Harris disappeared in your lineup. He used to be a fantasy player. Like, oh yeah, Najee, I go get him. Nope.
I don't know what it is, man. Like I don't, and the defense has been solid, but the defense hasn't been to the point to where they have not been that record-setting, record-breaking Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
You can't blame it on them because they're on the field all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and they're not.
Watt is still Watt, man. Like he's ridiculous. But if you're on the field all the time and you can't get off that field and get some rest, it don't matter.
You know what they look like? I hate it for that defense and the Cleveland Browns defense because their offenses, they got give
if
either
those
one of our teams
defenses don't score, they're gonna lose.
Yeah. They absolutely are. I don't know, man, what's going to happen in Pittsburgh. I don't know who's making these decisions on offense, if it's Mike Tomlin, if it's the GM, but they got to get it together because they're going to waste the prime of this defense, man. And I don't know what's going on right there. I saw that. Yeah, I'm not even putting that up there. Yeah, I'm not messing with it. I'm not doing it.
This is a certain show.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to call. Look, that's the one time I expected Earl to call Coach Tomlin to the front of the congregation because this offense ain't been it, man. You're wasting your defense. You're wasting the defense. And the bad thing is he's never had a losing season, which is good. But when you don't have a losing season, you don't really get the option to getting one of those top picks in the draft. So you're kind of like, you're stuck. And how many people are they actually coming, as a free agent getting to come to Pittsburgh? They don't do that there. So they're going to have to make a move, man, to get one of these.
Outside of quarterback, what are you going after on that offensive side?
They gotta beef up their line, man. Like their offensive line is suspect too.
Because we all know the quarterback thing. I was just trying to see what else because they moved Claypool, and as you can see, Claypool
still ain't he just ain't it. I'm sorry,
because look at Cleveland. Cleveland didn't have a quarterback. Deshaun Watson's situation, but they got probably one of the best offensive lines in the league, and they had Nick Chubb before he got injured. So they were running the ball. At least they have something they can lean their hat on.
Still running
their defense, and they're still running.
They're still running.
Yeah, because they got a dope offensive line. Pittsburgh doesn't have that. So Najee Harris, he's inconsistent at best. So you really like defense, like, hey, you win us a game, and
I almost forgot he was in the league when it popped up in my fantasy. Najee Harris.
Oh yeah,
I almost forgot. And that's no knock on him. It's that system over there. They can't do nothing. No, I'm serious. Certain people can just disappear. Who's that other running back that sat back trying to get a big contract and then move somewhere? Oh, shoot, I'm trying to think of who.
That move somewhere else?
I mean, a lot of them. Oh, no, but a lot of them ain't shot. Taylor?
Yeah, you ever heard?
Since Taylor you get what I mean? Like,
I mean, he actually had a good season. Well, he got hurt, but he actually had a good season. I mean, he had a good last game. It was like second
last game. But I'm saying to you,
2 games back.
I know, I got you. But what I'm saying is, when you're sitting back and you're looking at the whole talk that we had during the offseason about devaluing, Leonard Fournette out there too, Gary. But when you talk about devaluing the running back position, and now you're seeing how some of these running backs aren't performing, you're like, shit.
Look, you bring up Leonard Fournette. I'm somebody that he just keeps, he goes from team to team and he does his thing whenever he's called upon. Was it Devontae Foreman? Whatever. Like he goes from team. I forget that he's still playing until his name pops up. You're like, oh, somebody gets injured and he's there. He's still out there
producing.
In short spurts, because he typically gets like 3 or 4 games and then he's set down because he's playing behind whoever the starter may be. But I'm like, all right. Currently right now, what's the current score in that Kansas City Miami game? Is Kansas City is up 7-0. They're in the first quarter. Of course, they're playing out there in Germany. So by the way. So let's get into some more NFL talk, man. So something that happened, and I knew it was going to happen at some point. Josh McDaniels got fired again.
Everybody got
out in
fired.
Oakland, man. And shortly after that, they decided to promote their linebacker coach, you guys' former linebacker, our former linebacker in Washington, former defensive coach in Arizona State, as an interim coach, Antonio Pierce.
AP.
And the first thing I pulled from that is you got another black coach coming in to clean up or attempt to clean up a situation that was already volatile from the jump. Because not only did the head coach get fired and Josh McDaniels, but their GM got fired as well. And this is
and another coach got fired, I believe.
Yeah. And I think right now it costs the Raiders $85 million in those in those firings right there. So this question has two parts to it. One, what are the odds that Antonio Pierce actually turns this into a respectable season for the Raiders? And two, is this another case of, let him run out the rest of the year and then they bring in another name coach, probably another white coach after this black interim head coach,
I mean,
I
think I don't know. I mean, they, regardless of the fact is like one their main player isn't happy.
Yeah.
and won't be happy. It don't matter who the coach is because he came here to play with his friend and his friend is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to be honest with you, it's kind of like with James Harden in Philly. It's no fixing that. Like you gotta get rid of him. You gotta let him go. You know what I'm saying? Now the good thing is because of his value, you'll get something back, but you gotta let him go. I think now in terms of the rest of the players, I think that the players like they'll perform a little bit different. Like I think they'll play a little bit harder. But I did read something that said that leading up to that Thursday game, it was saying that players and coaches were upset with Josh McDaniels. And in practice, like you could tell like the energy was off.
Yeah, so a team meeting that didn't go well.
Apparently. Yeah, like but it's one thing when you got the players that's just like, man, fuck this coach. But when you got coaches too, that's just like, nah, I don't like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that all of that, I'm pretty sure David saw that and he was like, the culture here is bad.
Let me be pretty direct with it as far as what you asked. No, it's not going to be a real shot for Antonio Pierce. The Raiders already proved this. Take even color out of it. Take black and white out of it. Did they not have a coach that restored their season before?
Yeah, besides
them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and they kicked them to the curb.
Sure did.
So it's the same type of thing. I mean, okay, you go back, restore the season and everything. They've already proven, and I'm hoping that Davis doesn't turn into this. Don't turn into a Jerry Jones and you're looking for a name that you can control. You know what I mean? Because they already had a coach that proved that for them. I'm not saying he was going to be the end-all, be-all, but you want to talk about somebody that proved himself in a short amount of time? They already had that.
Exactly.
There was a big buzz around the team at that time. What they going to do next year? And then, boom, they pop up with him. And then you see where it went. And then Carr is gone. And then you see the turmoil and everything else like that. So do I believe in Antonio Pierce? Yeah. He was the biggest voice on our defense for the championship. They'll all tell you that. But does that mean he's really getting a chance? I don't believe so. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe so. So we'll see.
This is something that I do believe out of this. Unless they really, and it's beyond the money aspect. The NFL, the Raiders themselves, and rest in peace to the great Mr. Davis, previous owner of the Raiders. At one time, a commissioner for like a hot second for the NFL, a person who despises Roger Goodell and them.
Despises them.
The Raiders, and I don't mean this literally, but there's going to be some things that happen. It's not going to be the downfall of the NFL, but the NFL is probably about on the verge of getting the biggest set of black eyes they've ever gotten. Because if you guys have been paying attention, that John Gruden lawsuit is still out there. They've moved the oral arguments to January. The NFL and Roger Goodell tried to go in and try to get it dismissed. And the Supreme Court was like, nah, because the argument was, and it's a valid one. Yeah, and they said this, the main thing, and I don't care what judge it is, unless you're in his pockets. If you go to him and say, hey, look, and you're the plaintiff and say, hey, they fired me because I said these things and 650,000 emails. Out of those 650,000 emails, 20 of them were mine. You mean to tell me the history of the NFL, they had a whole owner down in Carolina that they got out of the league for what he did. You got Jerry Jones and his stuff. You got your boy up in Washington, Daniel Snyder. You mean to tell me ain't nobody else talking greasy like this? The judge was like, you may have a point. So it's not even about the money because John Gruden has the money. John Gruden is about, and he absolutely positively hates Roger Goodell. So much so that I heard about this. There was one meeting that they were supposed to have. And because John Gruden, say what you want about that aspect of him, he is a football head. And they were trying to push the whole safety in football, heads up stuff like that. And they were supposed to meet. And apparently John, and this is not even allegedly, this is actually reported, Roger Goodell kept him waiting for like an extended period of time. And then when he got there, just pretty much dismissed John Gruden. So it's like, oh, this is how bet. This is deep-seated. And the fact that they were trying to get it dismissed,
I don't know
wild.
how you're going at somebody so hard that has all the proof of who he's talking to. I've always said this from the beginning of that whole case.
Yes, sir, Al Davis.
How are you sitting back having a conversation and coming at this guy in a certain way as if he was talking to no one? Where's the rest of the conversation at? He wasn't talking to himself. What are you telling me? The responses were just, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I got you. No, he was having full-fledged conversations with someone, and they don't want to let that out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's going to be the argument. Like, hey, okay, y'all got me out of the league, but don't treat me or try to punish me as if I'm the only one out here.
Listen to this. The one thing that the NFL doesn't want this to get to is discovery. If you don't know what discovery is in legal matters, look it up. Bruh, if they get to discovery in this case, man, listen, you talking about Daniel Snyder's already out. You talking about Jerry Jones. You talk about the owner in Arizona who has his own issues now. He may be the next on the chopping block for the races and other stuff he was talking about there. I don't know what's going on in Arizona. First is the NBA previous owner. Now it's the owner of the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't know what's going on with Arizona.
But remember, they've already pulled those emails, though.
Yeah, no, it's a new thing. So this is a new situation that's happening recently. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because I got you, Earl. I got you. We're gonna get to that segment. Before we get to that, though, because we don't go too far off the track, because we have to ask this question now legitimately. and I thought about this as we did it, and you guys may get what I'm going here. So it can be argued that Charlie Brown's Christmas tree is greater than Bill Belichick's coaching tree, with Josh McDaniel being fired. So I'm gonna ask the question.
Hold on, before my bad, because you switched before I wanted to say something about what y'all was saying. It'll be real quick. Everything that y'all said makes sense, but we live in America. Ain't none of that shit gonna happen. Continue.
Oh, we'll tear the whole thing down. Yeah.
Ain't none of all of them. Jerry Jones, Davis.
It won't get to discovery. But see, I'll tell you what, I'll push back on that. If it had been a black person doing this, like look at what happened with Brian Flores. We thought, oh man, he's about to open it up. Nah, bro, you got a whole white man who got money. And John Gruden. This may get a little further than you think.
And always remember that you're talking about a league that is ran by quote unquote a commissioner that is put in power by the same people that you're talking about going after.
And that's why I'm telling y'all it's gonna be all right.
I think they just picked the wrong one.
That's the biggest corrupt setup ever.
It is.
I know you ain't going after me. Oh, you getting fired after this.
If anything, Roger Goodell ended up being one on the chopping block. But going back to it though,
go ahead.
Bill Belichick, man. Outside of Bill O'Brien and his run that he had in Houston, his coaching tree ain't been real good, bro. Brian Flores had that one little spot in Miami, but you know how that went. But you're talking about all of his assistants who have left New England have not done well. They have not done well. at all. I don't know if it's because they're trying to bring in, well, I know it's been reported that they try to bring in that New England Patriot way to where they're going. They're trying to bring this culture and really, instead of just establishing or improving the culture that's there, it doesn't take away from the greatness that is Bill Belichick. But at the same time, he's not Andy Reid when it comes to developing coaches. He's not Bill Walsh. Hell, he's not Kyle Shanahan. But I'm going to get you guys' take, man. What if you coach under Bill Belichick, do you even want to hire one of his assistants as your head coach going forward?
I would never hire them as the head coach, but they can be offensive. They could be my D coordinators and things in that nature. I would never hire them as a head coach because they just don't pan out. I mean, would you? Isn't Rabel under that tree?
I don't think he ever coached to them. I think he played on them. Yeah, but I don't think he ever coached them. I don't think.
You don't count him?
Not. I don't think so. No, because he was never one of the direct assistants though. Like all the rest of the guys, to my knowledge, I don't think he was ever one of his assistant, or his OCs or his D coordinators. Mike Vrabel kind of like he took he is a player's coach. He's established his own type of culture in Tennessee, and he's probably done the best out of all of them coming from New England, but not as one of the coaches. Everybody else has done really bad, to say the least. Like they tried to clone themselves as another Belichick, and it didn't work. Look at Matt Patricia and all that stuff. And you got Joe Judge. You ain't even talk about him.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Wow.
That time period didn't exist.
Who is he with? Where is he at now?
Joe Judge is in. He's backing with them now.
Yeah, remember when they didn't have the offensive coordinator, and then they made him like the offensive coordinator with somebody else's shared.
Well, Matt Patricia, yeah, man.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, they are really. I mean, I never thought much about Mac Jones in the first place, but God, you really just killed this guy.
Right.
I don't get it, man. I just I'm gonna put this out there right now because it came out. It was something that it was a rumor that Mike Florio put out that he said he's been hearing it from whoever that Bill Belichick potentially in the offseason because they signed him to a 4-year extension. All that really means is that the Patriots control his rights. If a team and they were saying they're like Washington was to come in and say, hey, what do you want for Bill Belichick? Then they can negotiate. Same way he got to the Patriots. Remember, the Jets, traded. Well, at the time they traded the Bill Belichick to New England, and because he was there for like a hot skip and a jump, and they traded his rights. So it's weird. So, but there's nothing to that apparently from what I've been reading in all the Washington stuff here. But yeah, it's wild how they're going to do this. I don't know, man. It's
and they just signed him to a contract, right?
Yeah, but they can still move him like for some picks or something. Like they had John Gruden. Remember, they had John Gruden. I think it was Tampa Bay to the Raiders at the time, and they traded him for picks, so they control his rights. So that money don't really mean nothing.
I really feel like teams that trade coaches away for picks is negligent. Because I'm sorry, they are not the motherfuckers that can make you win games and shit like that. Like, yeah, you got scheme, coaching does matter, but at the end of the day, the talent is high. That's just like when Michael Jordan was coming at Jerry. What was your GM?
Krause.
Jerry Krause, talking about Jerry Krause felt like it was everybody, but he was really more so. I really think he was the same way, and it was like, yo, it was me that put this shit together. And Jordan was like, no, motherfucker, like it's not your fat ass. Respectfully, it's me. It's the talent that you have out here. It's not
your fat ass. Respectfully.
I'm sorry. That was disrespectful. I'm sorry. That was necessary.
Oh my God, it's killing it. This is the Hot Seat Podcast. Football talk.
He got that extra hour.
He did. Brought to you by Zeno, man. Make sure you guys go out and pre-order the new Giraffe hoodie that is out now for pre-order until November 14th. Go to ZenoClothing.com. ZenoClothing.com. Pre-order new Giraffe hoodie by Zeno. Right now, our proud sponsor for today. So something that has gotten really popular for us there has been our tag me in segment. So y'all got y'all tag me ins ready? No? Ready. Are you ready? All right. So I don't know who else gonna be up first, but it's gonna be fun. Let's go.
Listen, tag me in. Give me a tag. Come on now. New York Giants. I tried to tell Earl don't pick them last week. And I sat back and I was like, they could really pull out this damn game. But the New York Giants just had to be the New York Giants. And what I mean by that is somehow, some way, of something percentile-wise, I think it was about 99% that we're going to win that game with the time that they had left. And somehow, they lost. I put it on everything, man. I can't even call it out. I mean, you got Tommy / Danny DeVito out there. And I will never forgive the fact of any NFL team having a player that you don't trust to play that position. Realize what I'm saying to you. You have a quarterback that you will not let throw the ball.
Preach.
So when you hear all this Kaepernick talk about how things are blackballed and stuff, you telling me he ain't better than a quarterback that can't throw the ball? There's a problem, man. That's not just a Kaepernick thing. I know there's other people out there that can do this. Hell, we watch the XFL. You can't pull any of these quarterbacks out there that can throw the ball. You got, I mean, how much time do you put into the special teams? Because obviously not a lot. I fear every single time they kick the ball. I mean, just let it drop. Don't even try to catch it. Just let it figure out wherever it goes. And then on special teams, once again, now we got a kicker that's out. That's missed the last 2 games as far as kicking. Like, what is going on? I'm gonna stop right there.
Tag me in. Give me 2. Give me 2. Give me 2.
There you go, man.
So I'm gonna stay there. And I wholeheartedly agree with Dave when you put a quarterback in that you don't trust. Crazy thing is, I've seen DeVito play. DeVito can throw the ball. But if you're going to put this quarterback in, you have to allow him to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, if you have no faith in that, then don't put him in. You know what I'm saying?
Let Saquon
just let Saquon run the ball. The second thing with the trust issue, Gano has clearly been injured. Okay, Gano missed like a 40-something yarder, something that he could have easily knocked down. Gano got a leg, pause. And he missed that shit. At that point, and you knew he was injured, why would you put the trust in him and not just say, we just gonna go for it? Because, like, I mean, clearly, again, here goes with this trust shit. So I'll just say with the Giants, like, I'm gonna have to throw this shit back on the coaches. And Dayboo, I'm bringing you to the front of the congregation, man. Like, I'm not ready to give up on you. Trust and believe. That's not what I'm saying. I think you're a very good coach. I think you've been great to the Giants organization, but I think you need some soul searching. And it's funny, and I'm gonna leave with this. It's funny because Mara had said last year at the end of the season, I forget what I seen it on, but he was like, Dayboo has turned into a rock star coach. But he said, yo, don't let that shit get to your head because this is New York. He said they'll love you one minute and then they'll hate you the next. So consistency is the key. So Dayboo, I got to pull him to the front congregation. And with that, I am complete. Yep.
Tag me in.
Take your time.
Yeah. So we're all aware of the trades that were made in Washington this week.
Ooh, not about that.
And I'm fine. I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. But the last remnants of the Daniel Snyder regime still remain And I hope that with that, Josh Harris and the crew come in and be like, yeah, I appreciate what y'all doing, but I need all y'all to leave. The secretary, the guy who bring the water, all that need to go. And I'm gonna tell you why, bro. I get it. I get the frustration when players don't perform, but when you're trying to show yourself as a upstanding organization, you don't do stuff like this. Mm-hmm. So out on Twitter, man. So of course, Chase Young got traded to San Francisco. Okay. Mm-hmm. And Michael Silver from the San Francisco Chronicle, or this is an article from the San Francisco Chronicle.com, and quote, it says, Young, talking about Chase Young, according to several commanders, coaches, and other organizational sources, was viewed as an undisciplined player who developed bad habits, such as deviating from assignments in an effort to make splash plays, end quote. So I quoted that tweet, but they call it X now, and I quoted that, make sure it was out there, and I said exactly this. Don't do this, because you can also argue that this same coaching staff has been undisciplined with player evaluation and developed a bad habit of drafting poorly. I hate this is the part of the media that I dislike. You can't just be like, look, man, we're gonna move on from you, let you go, let you get your bag, yada yada yada. It's always an unnamed source. It's always a punk ass person who want to quote something out there, but don't put their name on it. If you got the balls or don't have the balls, whatever you want to call it, to say something like this, stand on your 10 and put your name behind that. Don't send out like some sissy ass comment about this and trying to throw slander on this young man's name. Because if anything, injuries aside and stuff like that, Chase Young is loved because he's from the town. He's from DC. He has been the face of that since then. He has been a consummate teammate. You never hear anything about him in that regard. When Taylor Heineke was balling out in that game, when we didn't have fans in the stand, we all remember that one when they showed Heineke's jersey on the back. He's pointing to it. He's the first one on the sideline, clapping those guys up, everything else in between. For somebody to do something like that, that's an organization now, that's somebody who was there pre this new ownership. And I hope they pinpoint who that is. Say, hey, get your shit and go. All that. If it's one of Ron Rivera's guys, hey, grab Ron with you, pack his shit, and send him too. Damn. I know everybody gives him a pass because of stuff he went through, but this team itself, the last remnants of them needs to go after the season. They're not going. If they fire mid-season, I'm fine with that. But this type of stuff right here is why people don't want to come to your team, because you got punk ass people like this, and there's no point. He's not. And now what's going to happen is, if it does happen, if he goes out there, if he balls out in San Fran, okay, mind you, he still may not get a extended bag with them because they have so much money already tied up in them, but he earns his paycheck perhaps in the off season. But doing this is some trash ass reporting in the media, and you need to put your name behind it. That's all I got, man. It made me mad, bro. I hate it, man. Yo, this is the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk, brought to you by Zeno. That was our segment. Tag me in. We get off what's on our chest, man. You guys ready? I know what you guys came in for, though. You guys ready for some picks? And you got anything before we go into our pick segment? Anybody? No?
I think you kind of let all that shit out, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So mad, man. I swear. Let's get into these picks, bro. Let me get myself together because I know this ain't what I really want to do right now. We ain't got to do the picks if y'all, man. Screw it.
Can I just say something real quick? Just the fact before you even start. I want you this week to just stop overthinking when you picking, because the fact that you are the only one that's under 500, and the fact that Dave is almost beating you by 20, and I'm almost beating you by 10 is a fucking problem.
I'll let you pick last.
Stop over there. Yeah, let us pick first, and then you pick. Go with the majority, okay? And I guarantee you'll be over 500. Okay.
I picked Army to beat Air Force, and they beat the brakes off them. So I feel good.
Okay, that's college. You know what? Continue doing what you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing.
Shout out to the 1111 Signal Battalion. Gotta love it. Oh my god. Let's get into some picks, man. Right now we got the Dolphins and Chiefs playing right now. I think we no. Who do we all pick
already
picked? I picked the Chiefs.
Dolphins is Earl and I, and then you pick the Chiefs.
Gotcha. So we all did pick the Chiefs, and as of right now,
no, that's not what he just said.
What I say?
He said, "And Dave, you got to choose." This fool trying to put his negativity on us. He said, "We all
right now." What I meant to say was the Chiefs are winning right now, so they're still up. Yep. So I'm feeling good about myself. Let's go, man. Okay. Vikings at Falcons, man. So Taylor Heineke is starting this week. Joshua Dobbs was traded to the Vikings after Kirk Cousins tore his his Achilles, man.
He is.
Yeah, so I got the Falcons this week, man. I think they should have started Taylor a long time ago. I think it's going to be an exciting game down in Atlanta.
I agree with everything you just said, Earl. See, Earl trying to pick strategically on where he's going to switch up from me.
I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Let's go to the chat, see what they got. George with the Falcons. Look at George coming back 2 weeks in a row, giving out picks. You know, look at you. Hey, best believe though, when it comes for that Dallas week for Washington, we will make sure you up here, if nothing else, just to banter and say something like that. Yeah.
Nah, don't talk shit because y'all ass. So I'm done talking shit to the Cowboys with the Giants looking like this. So I'm shut my mouth. So I'm speaking for the collective. Okay.
Let's see what we got. Seahawks at Ravens. This is the week we're going to find out if the Ravens are who we think they are.
Who you going with? Because I'm gonna pick the opposite.
I'm going with Lamar Jackson this week and the Ravens, man.
I'm going with the Ravens too.
Hey, look, don't talk too fast, George, because y'all got a big game against Philly. So after that game, I'll tell you right now,
that was going to be part of my tag me in, but I left it alone.
I'm going with the Seahawks.
My troll game is very high. I'm already locked and loaded, so don't get them brakes beat off you.
I'm going with the Seahawks, man. They beefed up a little bit on defense, and they got Peters on offense now. So I'm going with Seahawks.
The Seahawks have been quietly good, and out of all my bad picks at the beginning of the season, and if San Fran keeps going the way they're going, the Seahawks actually may win that division.
And again, I just don't believe the Ravens like that. I think the last game they played was one that I felt like that's when they had a real potential. And I think the one against the Colts, I believe, where they beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah. We're going to find out, man. That defense for the Ravens has been playing very, very well. And if they just need to do that. I think the offense, I don't think they're going to stall out. I think they'll be good to go. Cardinals at Browns.
Lord have mercy. Browns.
You got the Browns.
And I think
who's the quarterback this week? Is it Shawn this week?
Militant midget. Yeah, Deshaun is there, and I think Murray is back.
No. I mean on the Cleveland side.
Deshaun, he back.
Okay.
Nah, on the Cardinals side, I believe they're starting somebody else than Murray. I forgot the guy's name.
Oh, they are.
He's never played a game.
If we not bringing you back was a person, bro. Oh man, like yeah. I'm gonna go with
the Browns, right, Shawn?
Oh. Yeah, I got Cleveland. I need Deshaun Watson to do something, bro. Like I don't know, man. They may not play him all season, bro. Like, in fact, they may not play him all week. They be like, Kyler, you hit your pinky toe? Oh yeah, you out for another 3 weeks. Yeah, they let that go. That's bad. Jeez Louise. Rams at Packers.
Rams.
Ooh.
They ain't got their quarterback.
I'm going Rams.
It ain't looking good, man. Let's go with the Packers. Let's go with the Packers on this. Neither team looks really good on the quarterback side, and that's because, they haven't had Matt Stafford. That didn't last long either. Remember at the beginning of the season, okay, Matt Stafford, and that was it. That was it. So, what what's Gary, if you know off the top, or if you can get that real quick, do the Rams have a first-round pick this year? Because I remember they traded a lot to get Matt Stafford. Do they finally have a first-round pick? And the reason I asked that question, if they keep losing and they end up one of them top picks, how crazy is it they could potentially end up with a Caleb or a Michael Penix or something like that? And they're going to be with their coach down there. So
they won't be worse than us, so they ain't getting that quarterback. I'm letting you know that right now. 2 or 3 of those quarterbacks are gonna be gone before they pick.
Right. Oh my gracious. Buccaneers at Texans. I got the Texans this week.
You say you got the Texans? What was that? Oh. Ooh, this is a tough one.
They got okay.
Bucks, Texans. Who you got, Earl?
I'm waiting to see who you got. Stop quiet. That's why I'm quiet.
You know what? I'm gonna go Bucks.
I'm gonna go Bucks.
What was that?
Okay, I got you. That's what I thought. So no.
I'm gonna go Texans.
All right.
They do. Okay, so they do. All right. So they may be in the market for a quarterback this all season. They keep losing. Commanders at Patriots. Shit. I actually got the Commanders this week.
I got the Commanders.
Yeah, I guess I got the Commanders. Reluctantly.
I ain't gonna put into the fact that I don't think Washington has won in New England since like 1990 something. I think.
Really? You know what? Give me the Patriots then.
I was gonna put that out, but I'm going with the Commanders.
Give me the Patriots.
I feel like Ron Rivera is gonna try to make this like his patented mid-season run to save his job. Bro, it's sealed for y'all, bro. It's sealed for y'all. So yeah, we're gonna see how this gonna go. Bears at Saints.
You got Saints.
Yeah, I got the Saints this week. The Bears have a new $100 million defensive end in Montez Sweat. I'm glad he got his bread.
Mm-hmm. Sign that motherfucker quick.
Yeah. I don't know what they trying to build in Chicago, to be honest, though. Like that is because they was kind of bidding against themselves, I guess. Because I don't know if he was going to fetch that in the free agent market. But I guess if he's going with I guess what the market says, yeah. See what we got up next. Colts at Panthers. He's such bad matchups, man. God.
Man,
going with the Colts.
You going with the Colts? I'm going with the Panthers. I'll do that.
I don't even feel confident either way on this. I got the Colts, man. I don't.
So you all right, dog?
Because you look at the teams, I'm like, ugh. This is the one time that, I got Sunday ticket. I'm like, I'm not gonna have 4 games up on my TV because I don't want to watch all 4 of these. I'm like, ooh, rough. George and Gary both have the Colts.
That shit felt like it hurt.
I need them Panthers to win. I need to get closer to that number 1 pick.
This is fun. Giants at Raiders. You got AP coaching against his
motherfucking Raiders. AP going to get his first.
Is Jones playing?
Yeah, he playing. I'm going with the motherfucking Raiders, yo.
Oh man.
Nah, I'm just joking. What day picking?
I got
the okay.
I got the Giants.
All right, then I got the Giants there.
I got the Raiders, man. I get that pass rush. They're gonna be out there trying to hunt this week, man. And Tyrod's out. Is Daniel Jones back?
I just say he's back.
I don't know. I don't know, man. What they got going? I thought y'all was gonna have the guy, the Italian guy. What's his name? Tarantino or something. Whatever.
And matter of fact, that was another tag me in because then how you sign somebody to your active roster that you don't fucking trust, and then sign Matt Barkley. Yeah, we all. Man, you sure?
Yeah,
you sure? I'm going with the motherfucker. Nah, I'm going with the Giants. Only because
this is what dysfunctional teams do to you, bro. They just be having you just like all out of pocket.
You're all over the place, man.
You're like, yeah, it's angry. Oh man, we got Cowboys at Eagles. For one, this should have been a game that should have been flexed to Sunday night. I would have thought, but maybe not.
This is a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, this is a 4 o'clock game. I believe it's a 4 o'clock game. Cowboys at Eagles. I got Eagles, man. I got the Eagles. I think AJ Brown gonna show his whole ass against that secondary. Yeah, that whoever
another 100-yard day.
Yeah. So it's gonna be either if AJ, they're not gonna be to put the clamps on him, but I feel like him and Devonta Smith gonna have a nice day. This
is that game, George. This is that game I've been sitting back talking about. I don't want to hear about beating the Rams and stuff like that.
Yep.
You got to beat the Eagles. You got to beat the 49ers. You got to beat teams like that because you got to get, that pride back. You got to get that confidence back in the team.
Yep.
So
this is the game that I think if it's a close game and, they were making good decisions and it just like players did their thing, okay. But if this is one of those games where there's been some coaching errors, this may be a game that gets Mike McCarthy fired, to be perfectly honest. This may be the game, maybe not mid-season, but at end of
they ain't doing no mid-season.
Yeah, this may seal his fate. So, George, just be warned. If y'all go out there and they look like trash and Mike McCarthy is at the head of it,
and see, that's the thing. I'm glad you said that. It's not only about getting beat. If it's a real good game they get beat, of course, that doesn't help them all the way. But they're like, okay, we're not far off. If they get smashed like they did against the 49ers, it's like, look, we're not to that level.
Yeah.
We're not to that level.
And then Jerry going to be on the radio right at the end of the game talking.
George said I don't like him anyway.
Yep. Yeah, that injury for Jalen is a problem. That knee is but this is a game of anything else. The Cowboys can be run on. So Swift may get some
But you know what?
This week.
You know what? We've been going out against like Cowboy fans throughout the weeks. Let's put it out there against the Eagles. I don't want to hear no shit about no injury to Hurts. True. I don't want to hear that as an excuse of why you lost. I don't want to hear none of that shit. This is that game.
Yep.
Figure it out. Take a shot back there in the locker room. Figure it out.
Sunday night game, but I can see why they didn't flex it because I think this may be a good game, but I am going with the Bengals in this. The Bengals seem to got it right. Joe Burrow looks healthy. The Bills, their window is about this much of a crack left. And I think they're missing Matt Milano, their middle linebacker. Yeah, I got Bengals.
I don't know how they didn't grab anything before that trade deadline. I don't know what type of breakdown that they have as far as analyzing things, but you didn't want to jump out there for no running back. You didn't want to jump out there for another wide receiver nowhere. Like there was nothing you wanted to do. You thought this was good? Yeah. I
mean, hell, at least the Jets apparently were trying to trade for Devontae Adams before the trade deadline. I guess that just didn't work out. But if he's
I heard no chatter.
Yeah, if he was upset in Vegas, I don't know why you thought it would have been better in New York because
For that reason, I had the Bengals. For that reason,
I got
right
Bengals on
there.
there.
Shit. I got the Bills.
Good one-off, Earl. This is a good
the
one-off.
Bills.
There we go.
I'm just trying to get back to 500, bro. That's all I'm trying to do.
You might get it this week. I got faith in you.
You know, this is a game. This game here. Chargers at Jets.
Wait, did I get George? I get your. Oh, there we go. Bills. Go ahead.
Chargers at Jets. I think the Chargers win this game.
I got Chargers also.
I think the Chargers win this game, and this is also a game that could help seal Mike McCarthy's fate if Dallas loses in a coaching embarrassing way. Because yes, the Chargers are 3-4, and I think their coach Staley, maybe he's on his way out. But if their offense still looks good behind Kellen Moore, who was the former OC in Dallas.
Change that, George. All New Jersey teams win today.
Yeah, right.
And a New York team.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. He's that's. Lord,
hey, just putting it out there again. If they do what they trying to do out here and come at Harbaugh and stuff, don't be surprised if he moves to the NFL. And Chargers will be one of the first things out there for him to move to.
And that wouldn't be a bad look.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
have a couple
first place.
You may have a couple of openings for him unfortunately at the end of the season.
I'm going with the Jets here.
Yep.
I didn't pick my team.
All right.
I can even see him. That you bring that up now, Dave, because I think we're all in agreement that Antonio Pierce won't survive even if he has a good season in Vegas. I can see the Raiders making a run at Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, I definitely would not go there.
As Harbaugh, I want to go to a place that at least has some type of foundation. San Diego, not San Diego, LA Chargers. See, LA Chargers got their foundation out there with Herbert. If I know I got a prime quarterback and I just got to build around him, whether I got older receivers like an Allen and the injury-prone, what's his name on the other side, I can figure it out. You got Eckler over there, who's a dual threat so many different ways. So, yeah, I would easily go to the Chargers if that was over.
As an avid Jim Harbaugh fan, I would love to have you in Washington / Virginia / Maryland. I'm just saying. Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, all y'all make that happen. I would love it. Bring him to Washington. I would wear khakis for the rest of the year if Jim Harbaugh comes to Washington. I'm just saying.
Hey, who did you have on this last one, Shawn?
I got the Chargers. And, of course, our Week 10 Thursday night football game. This is probably the one time that you don't watch no football. You got Panthers at Bears. The two teams that will be battling for what looks like the number one overall pick.
Dude, Amazon Prime is not signing another contract.
Hell no, they like, man.
Are you serious right now? This is the game you give me? Come on, man.
They're like, I got me fucked up, man.
So bad, man. Panthers at Bears. Like, this is so bad, man. That being the case,
I got Bears.
I got the Bears because the last time they won Thursday Night Football, they showed their whole bare ass. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I got the Bears.
Yeah. They went out there and beat the brakes off my Commanders on Thursday Night Football. They like prime time, apparently. So I can see it happening again.
What you got there, Earl?
I got the Bears.
And that is
wait. Nah, stay there. So we don't run into the same problem. Let's throw out there Colts versus Pats. That'll be the Sunday morning game. It'll be a 9:30 game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Colts versus Pats. Yep, it'll be next Sunday morning.
The Patriots. I mean the Colts. I'm sorry.
I got the Colts.
Colts and Pats. I got the Pats in that game.
All right.
They just look at that. They just put football at all times. They just out there just like we want you guys to watch all of our product. You know, never mind what's going on behind the scenes.
Whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
Come on down.
I forgot that was happening. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, who you got, Gary? Colts versus Pats. Pats. All right. There you go.
Yes, man. We hope you guys enjoyed, man. This week's show, man. The Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk live, streaming on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by Zeno, the Zeno clothing brand itself. Again, if you guys haven't already, if you've seen the folks, it'll be in the link of the show, as well as you can always rewatch Football Talk and any of our other shows on YouTube and on Facebook as well. And of course, the pre-order for the new Giraffe hoodie is out now. ZenoClothing.com. That is Zeno, XZNO clothing.com. Pre-order is open until November 14th. Go ahead and get it. It's pretty hot. I've seen it in person. It's pretty dope. I actually like it, man. So hope you guys enjoy your Sunday football. There'll be a little chill in the air, but it's a little nice today. I might light a fire. My baby's here.
That extra hour.
Yes, it's gonna be some fun time. I'm gonna do some stuff. Christmas has already been thrown up or vomited all over my house already. Walked in, there's lights everywhere. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's gonna be some fun had today. So for myself, storyteller Earl, y'all got anything before we close out, man?
No, sirree.
FanDuel, baby.
Yep.
About to be FanDuel time.
Yep.
I've been hitting.
You guys follow us.
I hit last night, so got a little money to play with.
Look at this guy. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube at the Hot Seat Podcast, of course. And I'll see you guys Monday morning, 6 a.m. on Exactly Radio for the morning hump. Shawn Xavier, we do a recap of basketball and football because I have no idea what's going on with the Wizards. It's a Washington team. I don't know.
Hey, Earl, don't throw that money on Pickens. Let's go.
Oh, no, I'm done. He's fucking done. He's